Vladimir Putin said that Russia will continue to promote the ideals of sport. The Russian president said this during the awards ceremony for Russian Paralympians in the Kremlin. Russia has always been and will remain true to the ideals of sport, and will continue to actively promote them, both in the country and in the world, in close cooperation, by the way, with our friends from other countries, with all those for whom the enduring values of humanism, justice, and fair play are important. Once again, I congratulate you on your success at the Paralympic Games and on the high awards of the motherland. All the best to your families and loved ones. And, of course, I congratulate you on the upcoming new year, Putin said. At the Paralympic Games in Paris, Russian athletes won 64 medals. The best figure skaters of Russia will gather in Omsk to compete for medals of the Russian Championship. Among women, Adelia Petrosyan is the ironclad favorite. Etteri Tutberidze student is the only Russian single skater who has jumped both a triple axel in the short program and quadruples in the free skate this season. And don't forget about her high second mark, because now Adelia is the most powerful component skater in the country. Vestimianova believes that Petrosyan needs to skate cleanly to win the Olympics. Who will you be following in women's single skating? Adelia Petrosyan's inconsistency is a little disappointing this season. She was super stable last year. But there's still some time before Omsk. Everyone saw what she did in the warm-ups at the previous competitions: a quadruple flip, a quadruple toe loop, a triple axel. Everything is perfect. I think she is a leader. People are drawn to her. But she definitely needs to skate cleanly so that there is nothing to complain about. So that she comes and wins the Olympics. The whole world is watching us. Everyone watches our programs, our skating, because ours is more interesting. We have creativity. And what I see there, especially in pairs. God, what a horror. But we will get to them later. Our girls' programs are more interesting and much more so. In dance, 2 or 3 at most are interesting. And it is even nice to watch our children. And not only children. Take Anna Frolova, the very same, mature women's skating, as Alexander Julin dubbed it with a light hand. Yes, it is really beautiful, wonderful, but she is unlikely to go to the Olympic Games. A wonderful athlete, and I am very happy for her. She has been completely reborn. But a girl who will go to the Olympic Games will be jumping a triple axel. If we talk about Petrosyan's competitors, then I would still bet on Sofia Akateva if she gets back into shape and can jump a quadruple. We remember how she jumped it, as well as the triple axel and 2 quadruple toe loops. I can't forget it. But she needs to get back into shape. In the meantime, she can't get out of the hole of her injury, and I don't know if she can. But I'd like to believe. I love Alina Gorbacheva, a wonderful athlete whom I've been watching since junior sports. And I'm not sure that she should include 2 quadruple toe loops in her free program. She needs to skate cleanly, that's the main thing. As for Sofia Muravyova, something has been going wrong lately. She can't win without a triple axel. That's why the Russian championships will be very indicative, said Olympic champion Natalia Vestimianova. Among those who tried their hand at the main start of the country last December, at least 10 people will not make it to this year's championship. Among them is Kamila Valieva. You already know the reason. This will be the first Russian championship without the absolute world record holder. There is 1 year left until Kamila Valieva's doping ban expires on December 24, 2025. Perhaps Kamila will even compete in the 2026 Russian Championship. For such an event, the FFKKR leaders only need to move the tournament a week closer to the new year. No, this is not ironic at all. Valieva is truly a person who is maximally protected and made comfortable. It is enough to remember the story of Kamila being on the lists of the national team, so as not to remove her name from their disqualified figure skater, as required by the order of the Ministry of Sports. The federation simply removed the national team section from the official website. But perhaps the most striking illustration of the attitude of sports officials to Kamila's case is the reaction of the FFKKR to the mandatory cancellation of her results. The ISU and IOC seem to have remembered the pending awards. The Russian team, without Valieva, will receive team bronze in Beijing in the coming weeks, and Anna Sherbakova and Alexandra Trusova will receive gold/silver at Euro 2022. And what about domestic tournaments? Here, too, Many awards need to be redistributed, but no one is in a hurry. The Russian Figure Skating Federation responded to the SAS decision with a sharp comment. The Russian Figure Skating Federation categorically disagrees with the sanction of the Court of Arbitration for Sport on the 4-year disqualification of Kamila Valieva, who, being a protected person, was effectively equated to an adult athlete, as well as the decision of the International Skating Union, ISU, to strip Russian athletes of their gold medals in the team figure skating competition at the 2022 Olympic Winter Games in Beijing. For our part, we declare that the Russian Figure Skating Federation has taken and will take all necessary measures to protect the rights and legitimate interests of the Russian team and each athlete individually, including through legal proceedings. The interests of figure skaters have always been and remain the most important priority of the Russian Federation. We have been and remain with our athletes. We are confident in their purity and honesty. We express our full support to all members of the team who represented our country at the 2022 Olympic Winter Games in Beijing and are rightfully the winners of the team figure skating tournament, and the skaters are Olympic champions. The next move could have been made by the Federation's Director General Alexander Kogan, but in response to journalists' requested the eyes in Valieva's case, the answer was succinctly meaningless. You have too many eyes. Over the past year, not a single statement by the FFKKR or its officials has mentioned the internal titles that Valieva should also lose. According to the WADA Code, reviewing the results is the responsibility of the organization holding a specific tournament. But the FFKKR has never announced a review of the results of the last Russian championships and other tournaments with Valieva's participation. There is not a single mention of sanctions against Kamila on the official website, neither in the news nor in the documents. The protocols of all tournaments with her participation retain their original appearance. This is, by the way, about professionalism, which the representatives of the Federation love to talk about. But the loss of titles is not the only consequence of Valieva's doping ban and, perhaps, not the main one for her rivals. For example, Alexandra Trusova in her social media profile generally ignores domestic titles. It is unlikely that the title of Russian champion is vitally important to her post factum, as is the status of winners of the stages of the domestic Grand Prix for Veronika Yamatova and Sofia Akateva, who should have received it after Valieva's ban. But the WADA Code requires justice, and it is not only in the transfer of titles and medals, but also in the return of prize money that the athlete earned through the annulled results in tournaments. An anti-doping organization or other signatory that has obtained the return of prize money that is subject to forfeiture as a result of an anti-doping rule violation shall take reasonable steps to distribute that prize money to the athletes who would have been entitled to receive it if the forfeited athlete had not competed, which means that Kamila Valieva's prize money for her Russian titles should go to her rivals, just like the medals. The 2026 Olympic Figure Skating Qualification Tournament will be held in September. The International Skating Union, ISU, has announced that separate competitions will be held to qualify for the Olympic Games. Previously, additional quotas could be obtained at the Nablehorn Trophy, which was held in September as part of the ISU Challenger Series. The qualification competitions will be held from September 17th to 21st in Beijing. If Russians are admitted to international competitions, this tournament will be the last opportunity to win quotas for the Games in Milan.